Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever found yourself weighing a purchase? I mean, not just by its features, but by how it truly makes you feel, or maybe the way it might actually change your life.
It's a powerful distinction, right? And today's deep dive is all about navigating that strategic choice. Our mission here is to quickly grasp the long-term impact of, well, two pretty different ways to connect with customers. We're drawing on industry reports, some consumer psychology stuff. So is it better to just, sell a product? Or should you be creating awareness around the whole experience that comes with it?
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just some sales tactic. It's deeper. It's about understanding human behavior, what really motivates our decisions today. So we're going to look at the pros and cons of both ways, and then importantly, see which approach our sources, well, which one they really recommend for building that lasting value. Okay, good. So let's start with maybe the more traditional way, just selling the product itself. When the focus is right there on the product, what does that usually sound like? Highlighting features, I guess. Price.
Exactly. Features, price, the immediate benefits, yeah. And often you see this sense of urgency, like limited time offers or maybe scarcity,
Yeah.
only 3 left, that kind of thing.
Right. Get it now.
hmm And look, that approach definitely has its place. It works, especially maybe for new customers or those impulse buys. You can get quick sales, works well for short-term campaigns. But our sources do point out some real downsides. Those industry reports we looked at, they often highlight buyer's remorse if the product doesn't quite meet the whole expectation, not just the feature list. And maybe more critically, it often means less customer loyalty, fewer repeat buys, because there's no deeper connection, really. It can even just feel a bit pushy.
Yeah, pushy or just transactional. I get that.
Yeah.
That definitely highlights maybe the short-sightedness of only doing that. So if that's the risk with just selling the product, how does focusing on the experience tackle those problems? Let's explore that. What happens when the focus shifts to helping the customer really feel what life looks like after they use the product?
Now this is where things get interesting. This is where you build that real connection. Our sources, they really emphasize the advantages here. They're powerful. You cultivate this strong emotional bond. You set much more realistic expectations, which is huge. And you tend to generate these fiercely loyal customers. They even become referrers, advocates for you. It's like you're creating value way beyond the physical thing itself, embedding the brand in their life story almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great, but what's the catch?
Well, it's not necessarily a catch, but it demands more. It takes more time. You need, frankly, a higher level of skill in communication and empathy to paint that picture effectively. And you might not see those instant sales spikes you get from just pushing the features hard. It's more of a long game.
Okay, so a bigger investment upfront, time and skill-wise.
Mhm.
Do it mean it's only really practical for certain types of products? Or are the sources saying this is becoming like essential everywhere? And, bottom line, what's the strategic answer they lean towards?
It really seems to be becoming more universal. It's
Mhm.
driven by how consumers think now, and the core insight, it's pretty unmistakable. Sell the experience, not just the product.
Mm.
And our sources get into the why. Why now? There was this one meta-analysis of consumer studies, really interesting. It showed that over the last decade, emotional drivers, they've actually overtaken functional features in buying decisions in
Mhm.
most sectors by a measurable amount, often like over 25%. It's not just theory, it's a real shift. People aren't just buying features anymore, they're buying feelings, outcomes,
Transformation.
right, transformations. And there's that example you mentioned earlier, the water purifier one, that really clicked for me. Instead of saying, this purifier has the XYZ filter,
The better approach is framing it like, you'll never worry about your child drinking unsafe water again. That hits distantly, doesn't it?
totally different. You're selling peace of mind there. That's the experience.
Yeah. And the analogy you used, the drill.
Yeah, the drill.
Yep.
Yes. People don't buy drills. They really don't. They're buying the hole in the wall. Why? So they can hang that family photo that makes them smile every day. Think about that. How many things do we buy where the real value isn't the object, but the feeling, the peace of mind, the joy, the time saved?
That's a great way to put it. Okay,
Yeah.
so given all that, what's the ideal approach?
Yeah.
Because the sources aren't saying completely ditch talking about benefits, right?
No, not at all. They actually suggest a blend, combining both strategies. That seems to be the sweet spot.
Okay, how does that work in practice? Give me an example.
Sure. Let's say a new smart home gadget. First, you hook them with a clear benefit. It saves you X amount on your energy bill this month. Simple, product-focused, utility. Then you transition smoothly into the experience. But imagine coming home. Perfect temperature, lights adjusted just right. Knowing your home is looking after your comfort, your budget, even when you're out. See? That's the emotional bit, the daily life improvement, the feeling.
Okay, yeah.
And then once you've built that picture, that's when you ask for the sale. It's like a 1-2 punch. Benefit, then experience, then close.
Benefit, experience, close. I like that. So wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for you listening? This deep dive, it really makes you think again about what we're truly buying and selling, doesn't it? It seems it's so much about the transformation, the feeling, that ultimate outcome.
Absolutely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, it brings up a good question for you personally. When you make a big purchase, what pulls you in more? Is it the list of features, or is it the promise of how your life might be better, the experience it offers? Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe next time you're facing a decision, personal or